You got the raise. Maybe it was a promotion. Maybe you switched jobs and negotiated a better salary. Maybe your business finally started picking up. Whatever it was, your income went up. Meaningfully up. And for about 2 weeks, life felt different. You felt lighter, more confident, like things were finally clicking into place. But then, something strange happened. A few months passed, and somehow you were still living paycheck to paycheck. Still a little anxious at the end of the month, still not saving the way you planned, still feeling like the money just evaporates. You're making more than you ever have, and yet your financial life feels almost identical to how it felt 2 years ago. If that sounds familiar, you're not bad with money. You're not undisciplined. You're not doing something wrong. You're just caught inside one of the most invisible and powerful forces in personal finance. And once you understand it, really understand it, you will never look at a raise the same way again. Let's talk about what most people believe about income. The common belief goes something like this. If I just earned more money, everything would be easier. More money means less stress. More money means more freedom. More money means a better life. And on the surface, that makes complete sense. Of course, more money should mean a better life. The math seems obvious. But here's what actually happens in real life. Meet Priya, 29 years old, works in marketing. 3 years ago, she was making $45,000 a year. Apartment in a decent neighborhood, used car, regular nights out with friends. She was getting by, but always felt like she was one unexpected expense away from panic. Then she got a big promotion. Her salary jumped to $72,000, almost 60% more money coming in every year. She celebrated. She deserved to. And then she upgraded. A nicer apartment in a better neighborhood. A newer car because the old one was overdue for a change. Better restaurants. Weekend trips she'd been putting off. A gym membership at the nice gym, not the budget one. A few subscription services she'd always wanted. Each individual decision felt completely reasonable. She earned it. She could afford it. Fast forward to today. Priya makes $72,000 a year. She saves roughly the same percentage of her income as she did at $45,000. Her stress about money is almost identical, and she still feels like she's one unexpected expense away from panic. More income, same life. This is not a story about bad decisions. Every choice Priya made felt logical. It's a story about a mechanism so deeply wired into human behavior that it operates almost entirely without your awareness. That mechanism has a name. Economists call it lifestyle inflation. Psychologists sometimes call it the hedonic treadmill. But whatever you call it, the idea is devastatingly simple. As your income rises, your spending rises to match it, almost automatically, almost invisibly. And because each individual upgrade feels small and justified, you never notice the pattern until you look back and realize nothing has actually changed. Think of it like a treadmill. You start walking, the machine speeds up. So you walk faster. It speeds up again. You walk faster again. You're working harder and harder, but you're in the exact same spot. The raise was the treadmill speeding up. Your lifestyle upgrades were you walking faster to keep pace. More effort, more income, same position. And here's the psychological part that makes this so sneaky. Our brains don't measure happiness in absolute terms. They measure it in relative terms. Meaning, you don't feel rich or poor based on how much you actually have. You feel rich or poor based on comparison. Comparison to your past self. Comparison to your peers. Comparison to what you've gotten used to. When Priya was making $45,000, a nice dinner out felt like a treat, a special occasion. It produced real joy. When Priya started making $72,000, that same dinner felt ordinary, normal. She needed a fancier restaurant to get the same feeling. The baseline shifted. This is the hedonic treadmill. Your brain constantly recalibrates what feels normal, what feels enough, and what feels good. And every time your income goes up, your brain quietly redraws the line of what counts as comfortable. There's a study that illustrates this perfectly. Researchers looked at lottery winners, people who had experienced a massive, sudden increase in wealth, and compared their happiness levels to a control group about a year after winning. The result was almost shocking. The lottery winners reported roughly the same level of daily happiness as everyone else. The extraordinary became ordinary. The brain adapted. Now, lottery winners are an extreme example, but the same mechanism operates at every income level, every raise, every bonus, every step up. The new apartment becomes the standard. The nicer car becomes the baseline. The upgraded lifestyle becomes the new normal. And within months, it stops feeling like an upgrade at all. It just feels like life. And the restlessness returns. Here's the insight that changes everything. The problem was never your income. The problem is the gap between your income and your spending. And most people, without realizing it, spend their entire working life keeping that gap as small as possible. Wealthy people, genuinely, sustainably wealthy people, do one thing differently. They protect the gap. Every time their income goes up, they deliberately, consciously choose to not let their lifestyle rise at the same rate. They let some of the increase flow into investments, savings, and assets. They widen the gap on purpose, and then they put that gap to work. Because here's the thing about money that nobody explains clearly enough. Money you spend is gone. It gave you something, an experience, an object, a feeling. And now, it's done. The transaction is complete. But money you invest keeps working. It generates returns. Those returns generate more returns. Over time, your money starts making money without you doing anything at all. That's the actual game. That's what changes a financial life. Let's go back to Priya. What if, when she got that $27,000 raise, she had kept her lifestyle roughly the same and redirected even half the after-tax difference, let's say about $900 a month, into an index fund? At a 7% annual return in 25 years, that single decision would be worth approximately $680,000 from one raise without ever touching it. She wouldn't have felt deprived. She still would have upgraded her life a little. But by protecting even half the gap, she would have quietly built a life-changing amount of wealth in the background while living her normal, enjoyable life in the foreground. That's the hidden truth about income. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much of what you make you turn into assets that work for you. And this brings up another psychological concept worth understanding: the difference between signaling wealth and building wealth. A lot of spending, especially the spending that happens after a raise, is actually social signaling. The nicer car isn't just transportation, it's a message. The apartment in the better neighborhood isn't just housing, it's an identity. We spend to communicate to the world, and to ourselves, that we are doing well. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The people who look the wealthiest are often the least wealthy. They've converted their income into visible things. The people who are actually wealthy often look surprisingly ordinary from the outside because they converted their income into invisible things, investments, assets, compounding returns that nobody can see but that silently transform their future. So, what do you actually do with this? First, make the gap visible. Right now, most people have no idea how wide or narrow their gap is. Sit down and calculate the actual difference between what you earn after tax and what you spend. That number, that gap, is the most important financial number in your life. Not your salary, not your net worth, the gap. Because the gap is the engine of wealth building. Second, automate the gap before lifestyle can absorb it. The reason lifestyle inflation is so powerful is that it happens passively. You don't decide to inflate your lifestyle, it just happens. The antidote is to make saving and investing just as automatic. The moment a raise hits, immediately redirect a set percentage to an investment account before you ever see it in your regular balance. What you don't see, you don't spend. Third, pause before every upgrade. Not to deprive yourself, but to ask one honest question. Am I buying this because it genuinely improves my life, or am I buying it because my income went up and it feels like the next natural step? That pause alone will filter out a significant portion of unconscious lifestyle inflation. Fourth, stop measuring your success by your lifestyle and start measuring it by your assets. Your lifestyle is how you live today. Your assets are how you live tomorrow, and the day after, and 20 years from now. A new car depreciates the moment it leaves the lot. An invested dollar compounds from the moment you put it to work. One of those is a financial decision. The other is a consumption decision. Know which one you're making. And fifth, give every raise a job before you spend it. When your income increases, immediately decide, on paper, before lifestyle takes over, what percentage goes to investments, what percentage goes to genuine life improvements, and what percentage stays in your monthly flow. You're not restricting yourself, you're just making a conscious decision instead of letting the treadmill make it for you. Here's the thought I want to leave you with. Two people start their careers earning the same salary. Over 20 years, they get the same raises, the same bonuses, the same opportunities. Their incomes track almost identically across their entire working lives. At 50, one of them has a beautiful lifestyle and almost nothing saved. Every raise went into a bigger life, and they're quietly terrified about the future. The other one lives a good life, comfortable, enjoyable, not deprived in any way, but every raise they protected a piece of it, redirected it, put it to work, and at 50, they have a growing portfolio that gives them something the other person doesn't have. Options. The freedom to work because they want to, not because they have to. The ability to weather a job loss without panic. The quiet confidence of knowing their future is funded. Same income, completely different lives. The raise won't change your life. What you do with the gap between your income and your spending, that's what changes your life. The treadmill will keep speeding up. The only way to win is to stop running faster and start building something that runs for you.